What's up everyone, my name is Franco, and today I want to talk about 5 ways you can make your videos better. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this video. Hope you guys are having a great day. Today I want to talk about 5 ways you can make videos much better. As my main job being video editing, I have learned ways into making my edits better, my videos better, and I took those 9 to 12 ideas and just put them into 5 simple steps you could be doing today. So let's start with the first one. Planning your shoots is very important, even before hitting the record button. Where are you gonna shoot? At what angle are you gonna shoot? But the main reason why it's important is because now you have an idea of what you're going into, rather than not having any idea or any kind of thought into going into that video. For example, if you have a client or you're doing a video for yourself, or even just a YouTube video like this, if you don't know what you're going to talk about, or you don't have a script, or you don't have a storyboard, or just an idea of what you want to talk about, it's going to be very hard for you to create that video, and you're going to have a lot of stumbling blocks throughout the way. So either you're making a video for a client and you guys never talk about, hey, this is the creative process I want to go, or this is what I want to reach, this is what I want to tell people. It's gonna be very hard when you don't have a plan to go in video. Now I will say this, sometimes just making videos just for the fun of it, having no plan, is very fun. But when we're talking about professionalism and having to do a work for somebody, planning your shoot will be very important in that matter. So I would say create a storyboard. Either draw out, write things down, write the idea down, thoughts, bullet points, anything of that matter. If you do any of that, that will make your videos much better. Number 2 is setting. The setting of the video. This could talk about a lot of things, about the location of your shoot. Where are you doing it? At what time are you doing it? The location of the camera. The setting of the camera. Are we shooting high? Are we shooting low? Sometimes locations can be very good, like let's say we're doing a video outside with some sunset. Same thing goes to when you're shooting inside. At this point, you're inside, you're in a building, we have less light, we don't have that natural light anymore. The angles, where's the camera located, the location of the shot, how much light do you have? Video creating can be very fun, but if you don't have a very nice location or a very nice scene to look at, it's gonna be very hard for the viewer to just keep watching. Now, something also about setting and location is when you're shooting videos, try to get as much cluster and stuff out of the background. Now, for example, we have a blue curtain here, and we have my editing setup in the background, and that's it. There's nothing really to distract. Maybe that blue LED light is a little bit distracting. Now, let's say if we just turn the camera, and there's just a lot of things going in the background. We have a TV, we have a dresser, we have all those camera things up there. But if we turn even more, there's just a lot of things going on, and it can be very distracting, and that can cut a lot of professionalism of your video. I think lighting is the most important thing to when it comes to videos. You can have the best location, you can have the best angles for where the cameras are located, you can have the best plan, the idea, the creative board, whatever you wrote. But if you don't have well lit videos, you ain't making it, fam. In my opinion, the best light is natural light, so outside, the sun. Obviously, if you're shooting outside, you don't want to shoot at a high ISO, or you're just gonna get very, white, bright videos, and you're also not gonna have good videos. As well as inside, if I was shooting without these lights, this is how it would look like. Now you can't even see me. There's only a blue LED light in the background. Obviously, there's no light now, and you can't even see where I am. So if we turn just one light on, that gives me a little bit more of a light. You can actually see something on the screen. There's a focus of the video, is me, the moving person, but we still have this very dark side on my right side, and there's too much shadows, it's too black, it's too dark. So what we want to do is add another light. This light is much closer to my face. It lights my right side of my face very well, and now you could see me talking to you about the video. So lights like these, LED lights, give a big amount of light, and that way you can control it a little bit better. But also, these lights are way different than just turning on the light from above on my ceiling. And let me show you that. So this is how it looks like with just the ceiling light and no lights from the sides. So now you can see it's a very bluish light, but it's also blue because I am right now in a tungsten white balance, which actually helps these warmer lights cool down when I'm editing the video. But as you can see, you can't really control that light of the ceiling. One, because it's in one location, you can't move it, and two, because it just has one setting of brightness. Now if I wanted to help that, maybe just a little, if you didn't have these lights, maybe kind of turn that video off, have some lighting in the background for, you know, some light that's outside the natural light, and maybe even move. So one tip of advice is just to use what you have. Now, for example, in other videos, especially when you're outside, either at sunset, you want to use that natural light. When you're inside, you want to use that light, especially wherever you're shooting, at what angle you're shooting, and you want to use that light well, because great videos are great lit videos. Fourth way you can improve your videos is sound. If I had to say what the second most important thing to videos is, first being light, is sound. Sound is actually improves telling your story, whether it's using music or a sound bed to emphasize the feeling of the story or of the video, or using sound design. Either of these will improve your videos by far. You can make a very nice wedding video. Again, great location, great angles, the setting's right, the planning was right within the wedding planner. But if you don't have a good music, you can sound either very cheesy, very epic, or very dark. So instead of choosing music like this, you could choose music something like this. For when it comes to either wedding videos or something very hopeful, very dreamy, very romantic, choosing the correct music bed or soundtrack is very important because it helps you tell the story better. As well as sound design. Sound design is using different sounds at specific times within the video to emphasize a moment in the video, or wanting the viewer to hear something that you wanted them to see. A great video has both great music and great sound design. Usually a great tip for sound is editing to the sound bed, to the music. And then as you're editing and cutting clips, you could add in sounds that emphasize the video. That's a great way. That's how I started to do it. But as well, you could also put music and sound as the first step when you're planning things. Like, this is the type of music that I want to put in, this is the type of sounds that I want to emphasize, to make people feel. That's a great way to do and start doing when planning. Now, this is not a plugin or a promotion or anything at all, but I get my music specifically for Epidemic Sound. They have lots and lots of categories and moods to tell within the story. You could just type up a lot of things. You could type up whatever you want and it'll come out. When making videos, you always have to think about, you have a video part and then the audio part. One thing I like to remember is audio will always help video in the long run. And the last way to improve your videos is movement or motion. Motion is kind of like the sub-factors to a video. You have the video part, and then we have these sub-factors. We have the lighting, we have the angles, we have motion, we have the sound, and all these sub-factors lead into kind of what you want the viewer to feel or what you want the viewer to think. Motion helps and enhances that as well, just like music and sound does. Motion also allows you to think a little bit more for what you're shooting. So example, when you're planning a shot, when you're creating your storyboard or writing ideas, a good tip is to write the motions down that you want to do. It helps create the story, but also challenges you to what you want to do within the video. Another thing for motion too is motion could be a really good way to transition in your video. Transitions, obviously we have different default within the software editing program, but motion can be used to transition in different ways. If you're wanting to do a motion of going up and down, you know, coming up and then transitioning that you're coming down from a different shot, or color. Let's say if you wanted to transition to something very dark or black, motion is kind of like the cherry on top for me. It challenges you, yes, but it's very rewarding at the end. Someone told me a long time ago when I started creating videos that motion could create emotion. That's something cool to remember and to think about when using motion in your videos. Another tip for motion is that you could actually use motion within your editing software if you forgot to use motion. As a videographer, you learn very quickly that keyframes are your friend, but also your foe. Keyframes are really helpful if you forgot to move back and forth, but you could do that within the video if you could go left to right or up and down. But they're also kind of a hassle, and you just have to learn how to be very patient with them and also learn what you're doing with them. So to recap this video, plan your shoots, plan your shots, plan what you want to do within the video, setting, your location, the angles that you want to do, lighting, the most important thing within the video. If you don't have good light, you got boo-boo videos, okay? Sound, the music that you use, the sound design that you use within your videos. It helps you emphasize things within the video. It helps you tell the story much better. And lastly, motion. Always use that motion. Remember, motion creates emotion. If you use any of these tips or all these tips, I can assure you that your videos will be 100% better. I guarantee it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you guys DMing me and telling me how much these videos are helping. And until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe.